Hello, and welcome to Wednesday, the day of Wens. Oh boy, it's a lot's happened today. Where do I start? So first things first, morning time, edited this, and first thing I did was finish up designing the website. It's pretty much finalized. I'm just waiting for confirmation from a few people to be like, hey, is this looking good? Do you find any problems with it? And as soon as that happens, I'm gonna flip the switch, which should probably happen sooner rather than later, which is fine by me. So that's all happening, probably tomorrow. Then, as soon as that got finalized, I'm like, okay, what do I spend the day doing now? Obviously, I hit up the elliptical, and then while doing that, I watched a movie. Uh, that movie would be Across the Spider Verse, a movie that I actually own the original the OC on vinyl for the original film Into the Spider Verse. And Across the Spider Verse, oh my god, amazing music, amazing sound design, lovely animation, wild story. Um, there's a lot going on there, and I do wish I could talk more about it, but um, as soon as I finished that up, I kind of took it easy for the rest of the day, which is fine. But I got to talking with some friends yesterday, and one of them had brought up the ending to a game that I thought I that I like thought I had beaten, but I did not remember the final boss at all. And that game would be Bravely Default. This is a 3DS title for 3DS. It came out, when did this come out? Pretty early, yeah, 2014 I think it came out. And I played it like around release. It's a wonderful like traditional JRPG that has you going around having fun with four crystals. And these crystals are it's very like original Final Fantasy kind of inspired. And it's just kind of like a love letter to that with some super unique mechanics, and it's just a joy of a time. But like I said, I don't remember beating the final boss in this game, and for good reason. I didn't. I ended up stopping right before the final boss. I loaded up my save because I wanted to see how close I was to the end, and I was right there. I had beaten everything. I had 100%ed everything. This game has a job class system. I maxed out the level for all of those. I had everybody's like best armor, best weapons. I completed the end super dungeon or whatever they call it. I had literally done everything else in the game. No side quests were remaining. No, all loose ends were tied up. I was saved at the final super dungeon or whatever you want to call it, and literally all that was left was for me to beat the penultimate boss and then the true final boss, which it took a while because I wasn't too familiar. Well, I couldn't really remember the game mechanics, but I do remember a bulk of the story, and it was a lovely story. A super unique twist on the uh, typical formula that you would expect from Square Enix and like an original Final Fantasy game. But it, oh, this game's like 10 years old now. It does really well, which is super neat. Um, the thing is, it's like I was moments away, like a couple hours away from the end. The I did die to the penultimate boss and the final boss quite a few times, which resulted in me having to do some very unique strategies. Um, and by unique, I mean just spam potions. This game has a system where you can either brave or default, which is braving is taking multiple turns at a time, and default is building up those turns. So you can take a maximum of 4 turns at a time, and uh, it made grinding in this game super easy. It made just leveling incredibly easy. But in boss fights, it's a very interesting mechanic. So one of the skills that you learn at the very end of the game is being able to steal HP from an enemy. So I use that attack pretty often in the final boss fights. But minor spoiler, for the end of the game, final boss has an insta kill move that literally just like you can't do anything. I'm pretty sure there is something you can do. The guides and the walkthroughs had like, oh yeah, just use this ability, which I had never heard of, or at least I don't remember. That just makes you immune for like 2 turns or something like that. Seemed like a good ability to have, but you know, we're here, and yeah, I ended up beating Bravely Default today. Very surprising. I did not expect to be doing that, but you know, I think I should be exploring my old save files for some games, going through them, either replaying them from the beginning, or if I'm at the final boss, which happens more often than you think, beating the final boss and closing that chapter. Again, wonderful game. If you can, go find yourself a copy. Might be a bit expensive. I know Bravely Second and Layer. I started that, I think, and I didn't really get too far. Same with Bravely Default 2. I put like maybe a couple hours into Bravely Default 2. And did that come out like this year or last year? I remember it being like a huge game when it came out, being like 9 out of 10s everywhere, 10 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, around there. So, you know, I should probably play the sequel now that I've beaten this one. But there is a special, like, the ending kind of leads into the Bravely Second End Layer, which is the second game that came out. So I'll take a look into that, and we'll see if I end up beating that anytime soon. Probably not, but it's worth checking out. For now, however, that's what I'm gonna call it for today. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow, and until then, later.